At Sophia's funeral, the air was heavy with sadness. The pastor was leading the prayers when a loud barking interrupted the somber moment. Everyone turned to see Jack, Sophia's loyal dog, standing near the coffin, barking frantically. The ushers tried to chase Jack out of the hall, but he refused to leave. He ran towards Sophia's classmates and barked even louder, circling around them as if trying to say something. The pastor paused, looked at Jack, and said, "Perhaps he's missing his owner. Let him be." But Jack didn't stop. His barks grew more desperate. He looked at the crowd, then back at Sophia's coffin, as if begging for someone to understand. How it all started. Sophia was a kind little girl who lived with her parents in a small, worn-down house at the edge of the town. Her family didn't have much money, but they had a lot of love for one another. Being an only child, Sophia often felt lonely, so one day, her parents decided to bring home a companion for her, a playful, fluffy dog named Jack. From the moment Jack entered their home, he became Sophia's best friend. The two of them were inseparable. They played together, walked to school together, and even shared meals when Sophia sneaked him scraps under the table. But life outside their small home wasn't as kind to Sophia. At school, her classmates often teased her. Many of them came from wealthy families, arriving at school in shiny cars with expensive clothes and toys. Sophia, on the other hand, walked to school every day, wearing the same old dress and shoes that were a little too tight. One of her classmates, Lyla, was especially mean. She was the richest girl in school and loved to show off her fancy clothes and gadgets. She always found ways to humiliate Sophia in front of everyone. "Look at her," Lyla would sneer, "walking to school with her scruffy dog. How embarrassing." Sophia never said anything back. She didn't want to upset her parents by telling them what was happening, so she kept her pain to herself. One sunny morning, Sophia was walking to school as usual. Jack, as always, was by her side, wagging his tail happily. He loved to jump and run around while they walked. Sophia laughed as Jack leaped into the air, barking joyfully. But as they were playing, Jack wandered onto the road, just as a car was speeding toward them. The car screeched to a halt, and Sophia's heart skipped a beat. She ran to grab Jack, but before she could, the driver stepped out of the car. It was Lyla. "Are you trying to kill your stupid dog?" Lyla snapped. Before Sophia could say anything, Lyla kicked Jack to the side of the road. "Keep that filthy mud away from me," she said, glaring at Sophia. "You and your dog are nothing but trouble." Lyla got back into her car and drove off, leaving Sophia on the side of the road. Tears welled up in Sophia's eyes as she hugged Jack tightly. "I'm so sorry, Jack," she whispered. "I'll never let anyone hurt you again." Weeks passed, and soon it was time for the school's graduation party. Sophia was both nervous and excited. Her mother had worked hard to sew her a simple dress for the occasion. It wasn't fancy, but Sophia loved it because her mom had made it with so much care. At the party, everyone was dressed in glittering clothes, laughing and taking pictures. When Sophia walked in, the room went silent for a moment. Then Lyla and her friends burst into laughter. "Did you borrow that dress from your grandma?" Lyla jeered, loud enough for everyone to hear. Sophia felt her cheeks burn with embarrassment, but she didn't say anything. She found a seat in the corner and sat quietly, hoping the night would pass quickly. But Lyla and her friends weren't done. A little while later, they walked over to Sophia, smirking. "You don't belong here," Lyla said. "This party is for people who know how to dress properly." Before Sophia could respond, Lyla and her friends grabbed her by the arms and dragged her out of the hall. They took her to a small storage room, shoved her inside, and locked the door. "Stay in there until the party's over." Lyla laughed as they walked away. Sophia banged on the door, screaming for help, but the music from the party was too loud. No one could hear her. Inside the dark, cramped space, Sophia began to panic. The air felt thin, and her head started to spin. Outside, Jack was waiting patiently for Sophia. As the hours passed and the hall emptied, he began to worry. He sniffed the ground and ran inside the building, searching for her. Jack's nose led him to the storage room. He could smell Sophia inside. He barked and scratched at the door, trying to get it open, but the door wouldn't budge. Jack barked louder, hoping someone would come to help, but the hall was empty. Late that night, one of Lila's friends, feeling guilty, returned to the hall to unlock the storage room. When she opened the door, she gasped. Sophia was lying on the floor, motionless. Panicking, the girl ran away without telling anyone. Sophia's parents, worried that she hadn't come home, walked to the hall to look for her. When they arrived, they found Jack lying near the storage room door, whimpering. Sophia's mother opened the door and screamed. "Sophia!" she cried, shaking her daughter. "Wake up!" They rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late. The doctor told them she had passed away. Sophia's parents were devastated. Jack sat beside them, his head bowed, as if he understood their pain. The next day, the news of Sophia's death spread through the school. Everyone was shocked, but no one knew what had happened. Lyla and her friends pretended to be sad, but deep down, they were scared. At Sophia's funeral, Jack refused to leave her side. During the prayers, he barked at the coffin, but no one understood why. The ushers chased him out of the church, but he kept barking outside, looking towards Sophia's phone, which he had picked up the day she died. Sophia's father noticed Jack's strange behavior and checked the phone. When he opened her messages, he found a heartbreaking text she had sent to Lyla. "Please let me out. I can't breathe." Realizing what had happened, he took the phone to the school principal. The principal called Lyla and her friends for questioning. Lyla's father was also informed, but said he had given up on her. After investigating, the school expelled Lyla and her friends for their cruel actions. When Lyla got home, her father was waiting. "Pack your bags," he said coldly. "Why? Where are we going?" Lyla asked, confused. Her father didn't answer. He drove her to a small, run-down house in the village. Inside, an old man sat waiting. "This is your real father," her adoptive father said. "You'll be staying here from now on." Lyla stared at the old man in shock. "No, you can't leave me here," she cried. But her adoptive father didn't listen. He dropped her bags on the floor and left without another word. Meanwhile, Jack stayed by Sophia's parents, comforting them in their grief. Though Sophia was gone, Jack's loyalty and love for her reminded everyone that even in the darkest times, love and kindness could shine through. Sophia's story became a lesson for the school, teaching everyone the importance of kindness and the dangers of bullying. And though she was gone, the memory of her gentle spirit and her bond with Jack would never be forgotten. If you enjoyed the story, please give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.